obviously it's HIPAA, I can hear her saying, but, typically, people say like, hey, I have a problem, like some of my stuff is off,
No, exactly.
Super overweight,
Oh, I think it's stress. I think she worked herself to death. Hey, Laura.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I got your email, Laura.
Yeah, that was terrible news. Shocking.
yeah.
Yeah, I just told everyone.
Did she have any medical problems, Laura?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I know, it's HIPAA, so you can't find out, but I'm just saying, she looked pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Other than she had white hair.
Yeah, I think she was heavy a few years back and she really got into her working out and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but exercise is good for you.
she seemed to be healthy as far as I know.
Yeah.
But that was very sad.
Yeah, all we could really do is just pray for her family right now,
Yeah.
It's a bad situation all around, so.
So Marchand's permits a temporary suspended.
Well, yes, but yeah, so he had reached out to me and was asking me, oh, I thought we weren't gonna take action until the 31st. I was told we had until the 31st. Should we take action after? And I was like, you know what? Instead of rushing this, let's get through one meeting without talking about Mike and we can
Correct.
just
Right there.
get through it. So.
Well, I had called earlier, so Laura early in the week, maybe, or Friday,
Yeah,
and I said, hey, listen, is he here? I gotta step out again. I'm going, hey, it's like,
yeah.
but I wanted
Like
to
the
know,
last 3 meetings you've stepped out.
what I wanted to worry about was. She said, oh, he'd be an old business, so I get to do all this shit first. I said, that's great.
Yeah.
But, she said, we don't have much stuff, and I said, oh, okay. But
We
then
pretty
she
much just have,
his lawyer requested January. I said, great.
oh, crap.
So I get a full meeting.
Oh, Laura,
Yes.
I think I added a couple other things to health agent updates, but I can just mention them.
You can mention.
Yeah, you can. That's true. You may have.
What do I want to mention? There was something, oh, yeah, Laura, anything new on, the permit for, Hilltop or Gurwitz?
I'm still working on that.
Okay.
I actually was working on that today. I just didn't get the chance to
Well, no,
talk.
I'm just wondering, people start sending it
Well, no,
early, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's in, like the application's in. I'm waiting to issue anything because Laura was out today.
Right.
I had a note on my desk, actually. I read your note, Laura. But I just wanted to talk to you about it and just make sure that like everyone's on the same page before we go ahead and issue something and it's too late.
Correct.
So, I didn't issue anything just yet. But we have all of the necessary information. We just gotta double, triple check and we should be good.
Hey, you're on for, septic?
Yes, I am.
All right.
That was one of the things that I wanted
Okay, it's in.
yeah,
So the other thing too, Laura, I forgot, and I didn't do it because I got to call him, and I was too busy to work on my backhoe. There's a drill, Region 2 drill. Person's name, I think it's Michelle, whatever.
No, I was just curious.
Maybe you, make sure one of you guys does it for the town, and then each member is
Right now.
supposed to do it.
He's down my ass.
I don't know if they're on it,
yeah.
if you know that.
No, we're good.
I gotta call it, because I forgot my password.
Oh, God.
Usually, they just let you ink on it, you don't have to password in. But they now have a third-party contractor, and they're being like anal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, someone might hack in and join the meeting and say, I'm all set. What can they do?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. It's just
I do, I get it. Part of region
not a
2
good thing.
now, so therefore, if you never.
No, but that's the state, though.
Funds available, then you won't get the
Oh,
funds.
shit, we're late. All right.
Okay,
No, it's all good.
okay,
We're good. Oh, 2 people entered the waiting room.
okay,
Let me go in the waiting room because I don't know who's,
okay.
it might be Rob.
Okay. Okay.
Make more than 15 minutes for that, maybe?
No.
We gotta open it up.
I gotta- Okay.
Well, I don't do that, Rick does.
Still, ready?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Okay, being 7:08, I'd like to open the meeting for the Bellingham Board of Health. December 17th, 19th. 19th. I think it's 19th today, right? Yeah. Myself in 40 chair, vice chair, Rick Gilberti, member Richard Montanelli, agent Dylan. 17, okay. Bill Levante and minutes clerk Lorraine Renault. Okay, the first order of business is the minutes from November 17th.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the 17th, as typed.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, so carried. Okay. Tobacco food inspector status, that's the next thing.
I don't know if,
Rob, you did?
Rob, are you on the call?
I am here.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So, yeah, I mean, Rob's in the call. He, I mean, I don't wanna speak for you, but, basically, he just wanted to let you guys know that,
He's alive and well.
he's alive and well. He is going to conduct inspections. We're actually, I still don't think it's necessary for me to, I don't think I should take over as tobacco.
No.
But,
You have
he's
enough
gonna,
time.
well, but he's gonna take me out, just to show me how they work,
Okay,
just so I can understand them.
okay,
And, he told me that, you know, if I'm not mistaken, there's a requirement for 2 compliance checks per, annually. And,
okay.
that.
I thought it was like food for Rob, sorry about that, because I was wondering where
No,
they
it's,
were.
he was telling me it's 2
Okay.
annually and they're good. Or Rob, if you have anything else, go ahead.
Yeah, so again, I apologize if my email response was a little strong. You know, not knowing the context of the letter I received, it was, you know, caught me a little bit off guard. Especially seeing as I am literally just returning from paternity leave. So it was just, you know, a little bit of a slap in the face that that's the first communication I received. But separate from that, yeah, I don't know what the board's expectations are, so I don't know if maybe it's better to define those now, just so that we don't run into issues going forward, more or less, whether it be meeting attendance or things like that. I know obviously that we have a newer or 2 newer members to the board, so they weren't familiar with when Marilyn was the agent, but I know that Marilyn very rarely came in, and partially because the inspections are done kind of sporadically, you know, so it, you know, you might do 2 inspections a year or what have you. So you're only, you know, it doesn't make sense to sit at every meeting or to only give updates when there is updates. I know previously I would come in whenever there was complaints, or when we had issued fines, essentially. So if there was someone that was disputing a fine, I would defend the town in that action. But more or less just to kind of establish what the board is looking for, because the last thing I want is for, you know, for you to not think that I'm doing my job, or vice versa, you know, not meeting an expectation that I don't know exists. So, but the baseline from the state is they're required to have 1 continuing education visit a year. That's actually more than most towns do. And we normally do, for the most part, compliance checks quarterly. The only time that varies is when an establishment fails, in which case they basically have a 3-strike policy. So they are then given 3 additional inspections to make sure that they stay in compliance.
Okay, so basically, I guess I thought, I don't know, at one point I may have asked for it, Rob, in September. And I wasn't sure if we had them. You know, I'm playing the thing when Kelly was on the board, you know, she'd always like to make sure that, you know, we were getting our inspections done. Obviously, if there's this thing is done and no violation, you know, an email, just send it to Laura and say, hey, listen, there were no violations. You're right. It's It's not necessary for you to show up to every meeting. It's not necessary to show up every quarter if there's nothing, you know, to report, like someone violated signage, someone sold cigarettes to a minor, whatever. And I guess you're gonna have to find another under 21-year-old person, but anyway. So I was thinking the end of the year was coming up, and I said, well, you know, we're at the 17th now, so I said, I guess we'll get a report for December, which would have been that next quarter.
Yep.
And I didn't realize you were on paternity leave, and I don't know. I mean, it seems like we lost touch with you, so that's probably
Can I
why.
ask a question? Rob, how many meetings in the last year have you attended?
I'd say maybe a handful, if that.
Yeah, no, I need a number. When you say a handful, two?
But-
One? Because I don't remember you at very many meetings.
I know that we've had phone
And if you're the
conversations.
tobacco
earlier.
agent, in my eyes, you should be at every meeting.
But do you want, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but do you understand what the duties of the tobacco agent are? Because I'm not actually a tobacco agent. I'm a tobacco compliance officer. So my job duties start and end with compliance checks.
Okay, and when you do those checks, how many of those in a year?
Depending on how the inspections go, essentially, there is a minimum of one round of retailer education, which unless there's a change to the regulation,
That's
there is no
30.
need. There is no need to go out more than that. And then there's things that we try to do quarterly.
So it's 30, that's that, when he's saying like quarterly, we have 30 tobacco retailers, so
Okay,
that's,
so it's 120.
so that's 120
Plus
stings,
compliance.
and then 150 total if you add the compliance.
Okay.
But separate from the education visits, usually the stings are done in one evening. You know, we take one afternoon and go out
Yeah,
and
a
do.
sting literally is a 30-second procedure where someone walks in, asks for cigarettes, and they're either sold cigarettes or not, and they walk out, and that's
Right,
the sting.
that's it, yeah. Okay.
Like, it's not like what I do, where it's like a full-on inspection that takes time.
Right.
And to this point, though, not to change the subject too much, because I don't know if you guys are done with this point, topic of the conversation, but I know Rob and I spoke, one thing that I think could potentially help ease the, I guess, tension with the tobacco inspections could possibly be a more detailed inspection from the standpoint of the current inspectionary software that we use. When Rob goes to do tobacco inspections, he can only log it as pass fail. There's no like,
Okay.
there's no, like, when I go on my food, right?
Right.
There's a food code built into it that says, these are all of the codes, and I go through and I literally check off what codes they meet and what codes they don't.
Right.
Whereas for tobacco, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if
For
maybe.
sale or no sale?
So, well, but I'm even talking about his education visits where he's supposed to be
Right.
doing like. Cause there, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, there is a portion of inspections to this from the standpoint of like you. And this might be the once a year one, but you
Yeah.
go in and you're like checking people's stamps, making sure that they're, like you're actually checking their tobacco products.
Right.
Yeah, so we go in, we check their permits, we make sure that their licenses are current with the DOR. Outside of that, they, like you said, it's checking the tax stamps to make sure that the tax stamp actually matches up with where the business is. Because with the Department of Revenue, you're not allowed to move product from store to store. So if you have a couple stamps, you can just confirm that that stamp is belonging to that address. And then on top of that, it's making sure that retailers have their manufacturer's letters because every product is supposed to be certified as not flavored. And then just general kind of maintenance things, because it's one of those things where it's kind of it's a horrible example, but it's kind of like weaponry and, armor. It's a race to see who can get there faster because the regulations are trying to catch up to tobacco, and tobacco is pivoting faster than the regulations can get there. Because even something as trivial as, I know we've talked about it previously, Vinny, but vapes that contain CBD based upon the tobacco regulation fall under tobacco, even though they don't contain nicotine and they don't contain tobacco. But that applies to everything. So now those products can't be flavored. It's one of those things where there's still a lot of gray area because they haven't ironed everything out. And even, the introduction of Delta 8 and CBD, hemp, kratom, there's something new on the shelf every time you walk in that doesn't always necessarily have an answer. So a large part of it is just educating retailers when there are changes, but there hasn't been a lot of changes recently.
I mean, this is black and white.
What do you mean?
What he goes out, what Bob goes out to do, is it in black and white, or you get it,
Well,
Your
that's what,
checklist.
that's what I'm talking about.
Is there one, or is it just what he's
Rob,
saying?
Well, right now, in the thing.
Right
pass
now,
fail.
it's a pass fail.
Right.
Like, there is no, like, where I have a checklist where I go down and I check off,
Why doesn't he have a checklist?
is what checklist do you use when you conduct those inspections, Rob?
I have a checklist that I just have memorized from doing them from the 5 towns I've worked with. But outside of that, we previously used, the Food Code Pro, which I built the software for, and there was a inspection sheet in there that I generated that, assist with signage, making sure that all of the placarding is there for, the orange cigar stickers or the under 21 stickers, the smoking cessation stickers. It just kind of goes over everything. But at this point, there is no way for me to record that in Permatize other than just jotting notes at the end. So similar to what Dylan was saying, I could put pass fail, but I try to notate anytime that there is a problem. Luckily, our retailers have been good recently. I think more or less because when I first started, they had misbehaved quite a bit and we had some very large fines. But separate from that, I mean, everyone has been in compliance. I have to say it has been a long time before since someone has failed a sting or, had flavored products or things like that.
Is this state mandated or this town?
So
State did the ban on. We started it, I think.
it is state
And as far as
mandated.
what Rob does, is this state mandated, in other words, what the criteria that he's using, is it from the state of Massachusetts? Or is it from the town of Bellingham?
It is from this, well, in essence, it is from the state of Massachusetts. It is guidance from the state of Massachusetts. It's not actually a, foolproof list. It is just what they give us, similar to how periodically they will issue us items they believe to be flavored list.
So there is a fundamental list on what we're doing.
Yes. So,
You understand where I'm going? So
Yeah.
there should be an app. And
There
with
sh-
that- with
there
that app,
should
there
be-
should be a checklist. which
Correct.
You should have a laptop. And I'm just trying to see what I can do for him to make his life a little easier.
I think it's really either we need to talk to Permatize,
Yeah.
because Permatize is the problem.
Yeah.
Because I think if we can get a descriptive tobacco inspection checklist, and then I could then. Okay, how does this sound? I could talk to Permatize and see if we can get a descriptive and inspectionary checklist, and let's say it does go positively. What we could then do is I could provide you with either, I don't know how frequently Rob does his inspections, just with his schedule. But he could either let me know and I could just provide like, it's easy enough for me to just from my office, I could print a monthly report of like
Right.
Rob's
You know what I'm
inspections.
saying, would it make it easier?
And then I'll just bring it into you guys
Yeah, I
and say,
think that-
hey,
What I'm saying is,
these are all the reports that Rob did, and then we could just go through them. And then that
I
way,
think Rob should be attending the meetings.
okay,
Do we pay him for each one of these inspections?
I get paid for the inspections, not for the meetings.
No, but you get paid for the inspections.
I get paid for the inspection, but not for the
Yeah,
meeting.
then you should be showing up at the meeting to give us your report. I don't think it should be coming through Dylan if you're the one doing the inspections.
Well, to my knowledge, Dylan was my direct report. So any information that I have been obtaining, I was giving to Dylan. If you would like me to attend.
Yeah,
meetings-
no, I understand how it worked, but I'm asking you that I think you should attend. And if we have to put it to a vote, then we put it to a vote. But I think if we're paying you, we should hear from you.
That's completely fine. I am just saying, I don't know if it makes more sense to come in when inspections are completed. So whether that's a quarterly check-in, or do you want me to attend every meeting? Because with my
So
current
if you
work
do
schedule,
30 inspections in a year, do you do them all in one quarter?
I essentially do them all in 1 week, is how I normally do it. I will go out and I will do 5 a day,
Then it's 30 educational, so it's 150 inspections a year.
which even
It's a-
presently, I think our official number is actually
120
26.
of those,
100, yeah,
Something else, right?
30 are inspections.
yeah.
120 of those are
Are
those,
stings.
are those stings that I told you about, where it's a minor walking in there and having a
Right.
several minute conversation with the cashier and walking out.
And did we do that this year?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking Rob.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
did we do that this year, Rob?
Did we do what? I apologize.
The sting operation?
We did. We did not have any failures.
And when was that?
There was a round done in, actually, so there was one done in December of last year that was counting towards January of this year, because that's when the minor was available. Where it was in the same fiscal year. Then I believe they were done again in February, while the minor was here. And now my intention was to do them next week while the minor is here again for Christmas break.
All right, the problem is though, in February or March, whatever meeting you would have come to, you didn't come and tell us that, did you?
I did not, but I also relayed the information to Dylan because I did not know the expectation. was
I'd
that
like
you
to,
wanted-
at this point, I'd like to make a motion that you attend our meetings.
I am happy to attend the meetings in the event that I have an update. To be completely honest with you, the hardest thing is that I'm in a safety sensitive position where I am frequently on call. Essentially, I have been on call every day since July, just the way that my current position is at work. So it is harder for me to find coverage. I have to have advance notice of when things are going to happen. And it's not feasible for me to take every Tuesday that we have a meeting off from work to be able to attend. So if I am able to have some leeway to where I am more than happy to come and give the board updates anytime that there are inspections done, again, whether it's the next meeting after they're completed, if it's at the end of the quarter, I am happy to do that. I just do not see myself, I do not want to set the expectation that I will attend all 26 meetings we have and not be able to meet that.
But we would be happy with the quarterly updates by the agent, because that's when he does his inspections.
All right, for the 2025 year, I would be okay with the quarterly, but I'd like to revisit that at the end of the year.
Yeah,
And
25.
once we complete our
Yeah.
inspections
Second,
next week, I'm happy to attend the January 3rd meeting as well, just to give an update on those.
Okay.
It's the 7th.
Or
just
the
so you know.
7th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Second by Richard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
Could you repeat that, motion for me, please?
The motion is that I requested the tobacco agent show at the meetings on a quarterly basis for 2025 after the inspections are done. And we would revisit the motion in December of 2025.
And Richard second that.
Thank you.
All those in favor said aye. Everybody was in.
Did you understand that, Laura?
Yes, I did. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, it was a little confusing to me, but I think that's what it was. Rob, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's completely understand. That's completely okay with me. I have no issue coming in. I just did not know that was the expectation. And again,
Okay.
I
Okay.
apologize if that was the expectation that was not
No,
meeting it.
no,
Well, we're
listen,
sorry we didn't get communicated. It seems like. we
it
lost
seems like
touch
it was
with
bad communication,
Yeah,
but,
so-
what's going on?
It shouldn't or wouldn't happen again, I would say. We're on top of it now. Okay,
I can't.
thank you.
thank you, Rob.
I'll get it
No,
next week.
thank you. And
Next
I look
thing
forward
is,
to seeing you in person in January.
All righty,
Thank
you.
Thanks, Rob.
No problem.
Have a good evening.
Next line item is health agent, updates, food inspections, and
Yeah.
anything else you want up there. So,
I mean, I'll just kind of make it quick. I just kind of got 3 quick things, food inspections, you know. I'm chugging along on them, I'm getting them as done as I can, but I wanted to suggest like, the state requires that we do for like food establishments, we're currently doing 4 a year, right? The state requires that we do at least 2.
is that for the category 1, which is food
Correct.
inspections? Okay, fine.
Cause I spoke to Rob and I don't wanna, we don't have to make any action on this, cause
Okay.
I would prefer to present you with the actual language, like the way it's written, before there's any action taken on it.
Fine.
But I just more so wanna put this thought in your head
Okay.
right now
Yeah.
of, I mean, I've hit nearly every restaurant in town at least once at this point, and I don't think I've had a single person like fail. I've had a couple people, the worst I've had was one where I was like, I was maybe teetering on wanting to fail them, but I was like,
Was it mine? Was it?
it was because a ton of minor things
Okay, fine.
built up, so it was like
Right.
technically it would have been a fail,
Right.
but I was like, it's so many minor things, half of which you fixed in front of me when I told you to
Right,
fix
right,
them. I'm not gonna fail you
Right.
and make
We
everyone's
didn't
life
have
harder.
potentially hazardous foods.
Exactly.
storage. Those are critical.
Exactly.
Kill people.
And so I guess the
Yeah.
suggestion that I have is. What would the board think about potentially reducing the required number of inspections from 4 to even 3? So that I can ensure that I can actually get to all of them. And that's not saying like Coachman's Lodge and supermarkets and new inspections,
those stay.
those are gonna stay quarterly.
Fine.
But I'm just talking for your average mom and pop because, you know, I've been working on trying to figure out the health agent thing, and that's just gonna come to a standstill with the news that we had today.
Yeah,
And so I need to adapt.
right.
And
the other thing, just update you guys. Bill, it was even before Dylan's time. It used to be prepackaged food, a Twinkie, a cookie,
Yeah.
and a thing. Those places, they didn't have any dairy, they didn't have products that were like, that weren't prepackaged. There was one inspection a year. All of a sudden, the state of Massachusetts says, nope, that's gonna be 2. The others, the 3s and 4s, those were full prepped. Those are important to keep them at, 3 inspections, 4 inspections.
exactly,
Supermarket,
Like a Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah, like Dunkin' Donuts, I can do 3, like that's,
Right.
like even just taking. Cause like, we have like almost 75 food establishments.
we have a lot. Yeah.
So just removing one quarterly inspection saves me so much time.
Right.
Because there is not enough time for me as one person to do it. And like, the girls are working on their search, but at the same time. With their own requirements, if they help me and go out and conduct
So
inspections.
when you say bringing it from 4 to 3 on some of the establishments,
Right.
how many? Out of the 75?
Yeah, the ones that aren't problems, I
Right.
would say.
Can you list those for me?
Yeah,
But when you
50.
say there aren't problems,
50.
how do we know you say they are not problems? What does that mean to me?
I can show you the reports. Basically, what it means is, minimal violations, they're passing with flying colors. It's not just good rapport necessarily with the owners. It's the fact that they're regularly, historically passing.
Is this part of our rules and regulations, the 4?
I don't know. That's why, and that's
Um,
part of the reason why I also wanted to ask, because I'm like, if it isn't, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I'll make do, we'll figure it out.
No, but in other words, for us to change it, is it in like our bylaws? Is it an ordinance? Is it a town? Is
Well, it's
it?
not a town thing, it would be a board of health regulation.
It would be it would be under
But
our
that's my
umbrella.
question is
Yes.
it a Board of Health regulation and how do we change that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Laura,
Can we
maybe you
look
can have
in-
to dig that up.
I'm gonna have
can
to
we
look into
at
this.
that
Yeah.
and then bring it back up in January?
I wanted to bring it back up in January regardless, because like I mentioned, I want to provide you with the actual documentation.
Yeah, no,
So I'd be
I
more than
get that.
happy to
And
do
listen,
that.
I have no problem cutting it back.
Yeah,
I just wanna know how we do it legally.
exactly. Yep.
And
Of
the other
course.
thing, I guess, is if we have 4 and you're spacing them out. So if you did 3, would you split them in
That's
thirds?
what I was thinking.
I assume
Yeah,
you would, right?
yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know how to do it legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think we did amend our food code for all these things. and
Yes.
it's also tied into, and I don't wanna, I'm gonna say it this way here. If we do this here, are we saying to someone, oh, well, you just say $200 because can't do an inspection? I don't know. I guess.
I don't know that the
that's what
money would have to
be.
change if we're only dropping it 1.
Okay,
And even if it did, it wouldn't drop that much.
okay.
Even
I
if
mean-
it did, congratulations, you save $50 on your permit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cause we still have to keep enough in there so that God forbid there is a reinspection, we
Right.
can pay for it. So,
Okay.
but that's pretty much it for food.
If you can bring it back up in.
Of course.
January.
Yeah,
Yep, and then, the second thing, I don't know if you guys saw in the packet, I got into the septic inspector class. So I have my soil evaluator, and then as of January 23rd, I will have my septic inspector.
perfect.
So that'll be all
So-
that,
You'll be upgraded a little over a year and a quarter, but that's fine.
yeah,
Full pay.
yeah,
But, a week ago or several days ago, I signed off on the, because Dylan had all the stuff, so there was a payroll change, so. We got his first line.
From last meeting.
yep,
After January,
Yeah.
he'll get his next line.
Congratulations.
thank you very much,
So-
yeah. But, and then
So it's early Christmas.
yeah, right, no, basically, no, it worked out really nicely, so,
You retro? Did they give it to you retro, they go back?
yeah.
So what happens typically here, like with these things here? The licenses are done through New England, NEPA.
Yeah,
NEPA. New England something, it's a third party that state DEP hires to do all the licensing and the coursework. So for some reason, when Dolan got on board, the coursework got canceled at least twice.
Yeah.
And then finally got to it in November or whatever.
There was also strange requirements for like, you have to have a year under your belt as being the health agent.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, well, I need the certification to be the health agent, so
Correct.
that doesn't make, but I got it, so that's the important thing. And then, I can kind of segue into the next point with this one, because we decided we're gonna pass over, Michael Marchand today.
Okay.
Going into the 2026 budget. I don't know if you guys got the chance to flick through that, but I did add to, let's see, where was it? I forget what line exactly it was. Here it is. Under dues and memberships.
Yep.
The next certification that I would like to go for is my resident sanitarian license.
Okay.
So, I'm going to begin the process for that, and I just wanted to make sure that the budget reflected that.
Yes. that's
So
a
I
good
looked
idea.
into the cost for that, and, that was the only specific change that I can think of to the budget. Was that I just want, in under dues and memberships, I just counted for the cost of that course, which is $300.
Okay, fine. perfect.
Um,
Yeah, fine, that's good.
But other than that, everything else is,
I have one thing I want to bring up under the old or new business.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a call from a text from Laura. Saying that there was a problem at the Dunkin' Donuts across from Larry's.
oh, yeah,
And she asked me to go up and do an inspection.
yep,
I went up there and the complaint was that there was a foul smell.
It was raw milk, right?
Well, yeah, it was raw milk donuts, it was coffee.
it was a mixture of
Someone
breakfast-
called it in
breakfast
as
stuff.
like. a
Yeah, no,
smell,
but it
right.
wasn't, it was
wasn't.
just a foul smell.
Right.
I went up there and it was a smell, you could tell it was a smell, but that wasn't the real problem, they could hear the smell out. It was the stuff all over the floor. A plumber had gone in, there was a stuffed pipe. And what he did was he rammed the pipe.
Right.
And when he rammed it, it all came out all over the
Okay.
place.
I didn't know
and,
that was definitely a problem.
So I made a determination at that point to shut the business down. It was about,
I think it was like 3
3
maybe in the
o'clock,
afternoon.
Yeah,
3:30 in the
Yeah, right.
afternoon. I
Yep.
made the determination, shut the business. And I said that Dylan would be out the next day to make sure it was corrected. I told them they had to pull out all their, workspaces, clean underneath it. Bleach everything, get everything cleaned up. Because they shut the door, but they continued to do
Drive-through.
drive-through.
Yeah.
And I told him that was just unacceptable.
Yep.
The owner came down, he was very reasonable, he understood what I was saying. He wasn't happy about being shut down for the rest of the night. But I said to him, it's either that or we shut you down for a week until we get in here.
No,
And he understood that completely, so I wanted to just bring that
I
up.
assume like the employees that were running the.
They had no idea what to
No,
do.
but they were walking in the stuff.
Yeah,
And to Rick's point,
Those young kids, right?
just to kind of wrap up the story nicely, I did go the next day.
Right.
Very happy to see that the situation was cleaned up. I didn't notice any smell. I didn't see anything on the floor.
Good.
I went in the back. I had, coincidentally enough, I had been there maybe a week or two prior for a normal inspection, just because they were due. So I was kind of surprised to hear to get the call that they got shut down, but I completely understand it.
Right.
And, yeah, I spoke with the owner. The owner was actually there at the time because he was expecting me to come and he was like, yeah, I called this plumber in, I didn't think it was gonna be that bad, I would have just shut down if I knew it was gonna be that bad, and I was like, it's all right, we fixed it, but everything was nice and clean when I went.
Yeah, and he said he was gonna talk to the employees because they really had no idea what to do.
Yeah,
They were a little confused, but they're kids.
The kid,
Yeah.
exactly, I mean, we're
Very
talking high school
nice
age
woman left
kids.
it that way.
Oh, the plumber, as soon as the plumber did it, he screwed. He really did. He said, I'm out of here. I gotta go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That's
he
literally
left
what he
them on
said.
the-
Literally,
He left them
them.
like,
he gave the piping at him and the crap came back all over the floor and people are walking it. They'll take that home, put it in their cars.
which
And
was,
it is sewerage at that point.
Mhm.
If it gets down there, it's sewerage.
and I told the owner, you should get a new plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's an
otherwise-
understatement.
You know, the plumber set him up for failure.
Yeah, it did, it
Right,
did.
right.
But I just wanted to let you know that's what I did, and it's the first time I've used my powers.
It warranted it, obviously.
It did, it
No,
did,
it
and I had
actually
no
a huge
problem
help.
going out. I
Right.
mean, you know.
I was in another place and I said to Laura. I said,
You were in another place and I was sick.
Yeah, but I had, like I said,
Like I
I had
said-
no problem. If you call me,
Call
like,
Rick.
I'll go out.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just,
No, it honestly, I was proud of all of us for, the proper Board of Health chain of command. It's proof that it works,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
yeah.
It
It's
does.
like,
And then if I didn't know how to handle it, I would have called Laura. I
yeah,
would have called and just asked and said,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
but it just,
This was pretty simple.
it was a pretty simple case for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told him, I'm not trying to punish you. Because I have an affinity for Dunkin' Donuts. I've been using them for the last 45 years.
Of course.
Being a cop, it was
I was
just.
gonna say, you're an officer, you got
It was like-
it.
But I did what I think I had to do
Yeah,
at the time, and I think I made the right decision.
Oh, you
So.
definitely did.
I definitely agree with you.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so, 2026 budget.
I make a motion that we
Yeah, I'm done with
accept
my
the
stuff. That was my
2026
segue,
budget.
so.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
Aye.
Okay, 20,
Michael Marshall is being moved to the 7th of January.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
Are we gonna finalize it that day?
yes,
Okay.
okay.
Has any paperwork been turned in up to this point?
no,
Okay, let's move forward.
Okay, 2025 meeting calendar and employee calendar.
I make a motion that we accept the 2025 meeting calendar.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
I don't know if we wanna do it real quick, but does anyone know, just looking at that, if there's any days that they think they won't be able to attend a meeting? Just cause I know you mentioned the February ones.
yeah, I'm getting cut January 29th, so I won't be at the first February meeting.
Okay.
So February 4th, we'll have a 2-member board.
I mean, I can do it. I
You can
do a
Zoom in.
With you.
Oh, yeah,
You can call, yeah, Zoom or call, whatever, yeah.
Whatever, I'll be like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Because
fine.
I'm not gonna be allowed out of the house. while
Yeah,
we get-
But
That's
yeah,
fine.
that should be in the next calendar, right?
Yes.
I'm going to 29th. so
Oh,
you'll-
29th.
But
Okay,
like,
so
does
it's
anyone,
Yeah.
does anyone have any plans for the year? Does anyone know if any of these are not going to make sense?
Summertime.
7 and 21 looks pretty good for me.
No, they all look fine.
I may or may not have to miss one of the May meetings.
That's all right.
Well,
We'll
that's,
get,
The way we change meetings around, it
Yeah.
doesn't
I
matter.
don't think we got pre-planned way ahead for me.
I
Okay.
might not make the one in August.
I'm going to a concert and I can't remember if it was a Monday or a Tuesday night. They put it they put it midweek. It's the weirdest time, but,
Well, less traffic, think of it that
oh,
way.
there you go. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, so goal, we're gonna hold established food retail, food, non-service dogs, animals, count on ACO. I did talk briefly to, what's it? Whoa,
Tracy or
No, Ron.
Patrick?
Lucio. Anyway,
Oh,
you know, and he said there should be something coming up in January. We'll have a meeting. We'll summarize how we're gonna handle the bylaw
Rob,
change.
sorry.
Rob Lucio.
Sorry, I was confused. I was like, Ron? I was
Right,
like, I don't
yeah,
know.
right.
No,
So
but yeah,
that's-
yeah, that's,
So. he
Yeah,
said
that
he would get in
the
touch with
bylaw
you.
committee, yeah.
Bylaw committee, because I said, you know, you can't have well, you can have one meeting and get it done. Because then it's gotta go to select board.
Yep.
Late January, early February, to make the May meeting. I said, we're not missing another year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yep.
And then CBD, as Rob mentioned, I guess the thing that, I heard something state on the kratom and
I'll just mention
CBD,
this.
what do we call? They're thinking of a place like a smoke shop.
Yeah.
Or like a bar. They're gonna have marijuana parties, kratom, all this other stuff. Not in Bellingham, they won't.
No.
Two things.
Over my dead body.
In regards to kratom, I don't know if you guys saw recently in the news, the city of Lowell, Massachusetts
Sorry.
had, a kratom related death confirmed.
Yeah.
Of a 25-year-old male.
Yeah.
And they used that as a justification to ban the sale of kratom in the city of Lowell.
Okay.
So, I mean, we now have direct causation in this
Right.
state
We're not having.
to ban it.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know
think if you
where
guys
that is in the
wanted,
legislature. stuff like that.
I can talk to KP Law and draft something.
Fine,
And
sure.
we could potentially get that up for like
Yeah.
January,
okay,
Please do.
that works.
just to get that handled.
And
Because-
The other thing I'd like to bring up in January or
Yeah.
February is the spring cleanup.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we should
yes.
start working on that. If we're
Early
gonna
then.
do it a little bigger this year than we did last year.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that actually came up the other day, because I wanted to introduce, our new conservation agent to it, because we have a new Hannah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew,
I didn't know that.
but the previous conservation Hannah is gone, it's now Hannah.
Oh, the same
Went from
name.
Hannah to Hannah,
Really?
different people though. But, I kind of introduced her, I said, hey, like, just so you know, I'd love to have you involved in this. We got the conservation involved. I think it would be good to have both of our offices working on this. This is kind of what we did for Earth Day.
Right.
This is what we want to do.
Yeah, cause I'd like to extend it a little better than we did this year when I have T-shirts. I wanna
Right.
do,
Definitely.
you know, have little gizmos to give out to people.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
good
like, reusable water bottles, cause like that could kill two birds with one stone from the standpoint of like, we're giving them water bottles. And we don't have to give out as many or potentially at all, like the Poland Springs plastic ones or whatever.
Right, right.
You know, cause it's Earth Day, we don't wanna be handing out a bunch of plastic water bottles.
When are you gonna get the water for the water bottle?
I mean, we got bubblers here, everyone meets here.
Either that or we could get
Buffalo?
the giant, what do we call
Buffalo?
it? Yeah,
Maybe a mouse.
But if we can start thinking about that in January,
Yeah,
maybe even have the
yeah.
conservation person come.
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
since we have a new person.
I would love to.
And
Yeah, I'll talk to her
typically,
about that.
I'll
Yeah,
have to say that typically, if it is on the road, if it's off the road, it's always in a wetland.
mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, can't go down there.
And it's funny, cause kinda, and, I'll leave it off with this, we actually mentioned, cause there was a big group of people that sounded like they wanted to try to continue the cleanup after Earth Day.
Right.
And so myself and Hannah suggested that maybe we form some sort of group with, all of the senior tax work-off people.
Right.
Which all of the people that are interested, maybe Hannah and I could trade off, like, we do an event every 2 weeks, but Hannah and I trade off every event. So realistically, it's every fourth Friday, so it doesn't take a ton of time out of my day.
Right,
But I could like take a group of them, go out and essentially do like Earth Day.
Yeah.
Just on another Friday.
right.
On
And
Maple
maybe a
Street or
particular-
on
Yeah,
Bingo.
Depot Street
Right.
or on.
like
Bingo.
Yeah, no,
Bring
work-
people,
that works.
last year, the other thing.
Exactly.
The other thing that happened
Yeah.
last year was a DEP person, right where, lake goes up the little thing, there's a giant wetland there. Just before you get down to Cross Street.
Oh, yeah.
She actually took photos and sent it in there. She says, I need that cleaned up immediately.
It's all in that.
She was out there
wetlands right
because of
there.
a planning board meeting.
Yeah,
They're gonna develop that land, not the wetland.
that's yeah, that's
But it was-
Blue's property.
It was
It's
literally
crazy.
floating. She had pictures that were like, I said, geez. I thought when I went by, it didn't look that bad. But this was, the sun just baked all, it rained a lot. So
Yeah.
everything was floating. It was covered.
But yeah, so we got some good ideas.
We put
Okay.
trash can from with.
Yeah, discuss food and securities when interns are on hold. Okay, so
Yep.
bills.
All right, I make a motion that we accept the Solomon VNA hospice bill for December $670.
Second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
I accept the bill. I make a motion that we accept the bill for $350 total due for Surf Save. For the instruction Michael session
Sarah said.
for Laura.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
I make a motion that we accept for Amazon Business in the amount of $214.80.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
make a motion that we accept Amazon Business in the amount of $63.98, and this is for supplies.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, so carried.
Second page.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the Amazon Business invoice for the amount of oh, I'm sorry, that's part of that one.
That's fine.
last time.
Okay, fine.
It's 3 pages.
Okay.
All right, I will make a motion that we accept an invoice from the town of Bellingham. Bill to Russell Forcier of 171 Pine Street, Bellingham. The amount is $6,000 for engineering.
I have a question. What are we engineering? I know it's a septic system or whatever.
It's a betterment loan.
Okay, second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried.
We just looking for one.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's just a betterment loan.
Make
We're
a
like
motion to
the,
adjourn.
That's okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so
Merry
carried.
Christmas, Merry Christmas, Laura.
Merry Christmas.
have a good night, Laura. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Good night. Merry Christmas.
Good night.